The Young Turks did a video where they called me ugly because I talked about attraction privilege. I don't know how you call it, beauty privilege or whatever. 35, you better have a family because that's when things start to break down. If you don't start a family around 35, you're gonna be, if you go to work and you're a dude and you walk up to another dude and you go, whoa, Ricky, you working out, man? You're looking good. That's a nice suit. What is that? What is that made of? You know, velour? I don't know, is that a thing? Whatever. A silk robe? My point is this. If you walk up to a guy and you're a guy and you go, whoa, bro, looking good, man. You working out? You lost weight? Wow, great suit, by the way. Nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye. Now imagine the same thing. You're a guy and you walk in, ooh, Diane, you're looking good. You working out? That's a nice dress. Oof. You're getting written up. Imagine if you walk up to a guy and you put his hand on his shoulder and say, you really did a good job out there, man. No one cares. You did it to a woman? Maybe not, but you have a potential to be getting written up. They'll say, hey, look, you touched her. She didn't like it. We're warning you not to do it again. You'll be like, I put my hand on her shoulder and said, good job. You can't be touching employees like this.
And this is gonna be the latest right-wing conspiracy theory. They're like, oh, they stole the election and all the doctors who got together in a global conspiracy to say that the vaccine works when it obviously doesn't. And then all the women in the world got together and pretended that Tim Pool is not attractive when he clearly is. Okay, right, Tim? That's probably it right there. You nailed it again.
I was talking about how conservatives are more likely to be attractive because it's easier to go through life as an attractive person. Thus, you're given benefits that you associate to your abilities instead of society, resulting in a conservative worldview. And those who are less attractive have it harder, resulting in a collectivist worldview. And instead of just like telling me I was wrong, they just called me ugly.
Well, I mean, do you have statistics to back up your but who decides who's ugly and who's unattractive?
So they did studies where they would show images of people to men and women and ask them to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, then create a curve of attraction. And those people that they showed the pictures of, they had interviewed them on their political leanings and found a correlation between attraction and political leaning. I'm sorry, beauty, perceived beauty and political leanings.
And this is a classic Tim Pool misdirection, right? He's like, oh no, I think the people on the left, because they're so ugly, they care about others and they want to work together collectively. I'm just being really nice to the left. I mean, they're like hideously ugly, but I've got to study and I'm just. It's great that they want to work together. I mean, as hideously unattractive as they are. And then when we say, hey, Tim, I'm not sure you're a looker either. And he's like, oh, I can't believe they said that about me. When I was thinking about all of them. And I say it's a classic Tim Pool trick because he's like, and he apparently said it with Emma in that interview a couple of times too. He's like, oh no, I'm on the left. Dude, that trick is like decades old.
Single millennial women, they're chasing their careers. Many of them are probably doing it due to social pressures. Many of them are doing it because they really want to do it. And for that, nothing but respect. Of the women who are not being honest with themselves and are more concerned about social pressures than what they truly would want, maybe a family, I don't think they'll admit it. They'll be 40 and they'll say, nope, life's great. I've never been happier. Young women will see it. They'll be 45. I love my life. I'm single and I'm living it up in the big city. They're gonna be 55. And they're gonna say, well, it has its charm. They're gonna be 60 and they're gonna go to the young people and say, I've made a terrible mistake, don't make the same mistake I did.
Yep.
But by that point, there's gonna be a generation or two that believed the lies. We're citing Jordan Peterson so often in this, but he was saying something that after 35, you better have a family because that's when things start to break down. That's what the conversation, were you were for that, right? Or no?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
When what things start to break down?
When you're gonna be lonely, you're gonna have no friends. Like if you don't start a family around 35, you're gonna be left out.
This is colloquially called the wall. And I'm sure you've heard of it if you've been a denizen of the internet for any length of time. All women supposedly hit a wall when they're about 35. And if you don't have a family, you are gonna be lonely. And you're gonna have a problem. You're not gonna be able to find a good date. It doesn't matter how much money you make because that's not what men look for.
Why do you guys care? Like, let's assume for a second that you're right, which is a preposterous assumption. And women are happy in the beginning, but then they're not as happy later, etc. Like, what business is it of yours? Mm-hmm. Why are you interfering in their lives and going, hey, Susan, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna judge you. I'm judging you right now. You're gonna be miserable. Why do you care? They're constantly in other people's business, right? And then they ironically say, oh, the liberals are gonna make you drink Starbucks coffee every day. Because their idiot minds project and think, we wanna control every part of their lives. so they must want to control every part of our lives. No, Tim Pool, Jordan Peterson, all of you idiots, you make insanely bad decisions all the time for yourself. I don't care.